to bring together all of my musical and life experiences up until now. The point in my life where so many things I've been wanting, waiting for, and working toward are all about to happen. Thank you for visiting my IndieGoGo campaign. My name is Rowdy Wendland. I am a guitarist and composer, and I'm about to complete my undergraduate degree in jazz performance at Friends University. I grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and started playing music when I was 11. I picked up the guitar when I was 13, and I started performing in the Wichita area around the age of 16. It was through these musical opportunities during my early youth and young adult life that I've had many incredible experiences and the opportunity to meet tons of equally as incredible people. I'm in the process of producing my first album, and I need your help to make it the most professional and transparent representation of my art. Just as the title describes, Before Everything represents all that I was and have grown to be up until this pivotal point in my life, symbolizing the journey of youthful existence and the readiness to move forward. It will be a sort of send-off project for my musical career and personal life. Just a few months after the release of the album, I will be getting married, moving to a new city, buying my first house, and starting graduate school, and through that, my professional career. I'm about to begin the rest of my life. So it truly feels like everything is about to begin. There's a recurring theme or motivation throughout my project, where many of the connections and friendships I've made in my life contribute greatly to the album's production, either by their direct collaboration or the inspiration they spark within me. All the musicians playing on the album are my close friends and people who've greatly influenced me, not to mention the people who contributed to the album cover art who are also good friends of mine. The music on the album features a variety of sound worlds, pulling from my varied musical background, with elements of classical music, jazz, neo-soul, R&B, rock, and metal. Each composition comes from different points of inspiration in my life, such as the beautiful university campus where I spent so much of my time writing, practicing, and seeking inspiration, the love I felt for my now fiancé, the struggles and difficulties I faced while coping with the reality of my mother's cancer diagnosis, and other self-reflection. With its wealth of original music, it paints a very clear picture of me and the trials and tribulations I've worked through since I started on this path, illustrating my growth as a person and musician. I've been surrounded by and focusing on my musical education for several years, and this album will be my first true artistic statement, and I can't wait to share it with you. The more I've worked on this project, the more I realize all that has to go into it. I am pledging a goal of $10,000 to cover the costs of performance, recording, production, manufacturing, and advertisement. To break this down a little bit further, the musicians participating on the album are some of the best musicians in Wichita, and I want to ensure that they're appropriately compensated for their contribution. I will be recording the music with the best studio in town, as well as collaborating with highly experienced mixing and mastering engineers to capture and develop the music at the highest possible quality. Aside from these things, there are several other expenses, which include the development of album cover art and inserts, the distribution of the final product to streaming services, copyright and legal processes, the manufacturing of physical CDs, promotional material, and advertisement spending, just to name a few. This whole project is a great undertaking for me, personally and professionally, but it will be more than worth it. I greatly appreciate any contribution you can make, no matter the amount. For my contributor perks, I'm offering a personal thank you letter, handmade wooden guitar picks, an early digital download of the album, signed CDs from the first issue of the physical copies, a 1-year early access code to view the videography that will be shot during the recording sessions. The videography will be the full length of the album. It will have each track on there, and it will have a video representation of the live performance. In between those performances, there will be commentary by me, talking about the inspirations behind each of the pieces. A 1-year early access code to the animated short, which will be set to the piece Journey. Journey is a string quartet from the album, which features clarinet and classical guitar. A very good friend of mine is a filmmaker and I will be collaborating with him to create this animated short. 1, 2. Printed posters of album art that will be hung in the studio during recording. The goal of the posters being hung in the studio is to remind us what the album is all about, the inspiration behind it, and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to share. So after the recording of the album, we will sign and distribute the posters to those who choose this perk. And you'll get to have a very concrete piece of what made the album happen. The last perk is one that I'm very excited about. It is what I'm calling a personalized portrait composition. Just like a visual artist paints or creates a visual representation of a person, I want to create a musical representation of a person in the most holistic and transparent representation. So those who choose this perk will get to meet with me so I can see that person and I can see what they're all about, and they can tell me the things that they love, the things that inspire them, the things that make their life whole, and I will take those things and put it into a composition. All the aspects of the composition are malleable. I really want to create a portrait of a person in music in a way that nobody has done before. I can't wait to get this album out into the world so that I may share my story and my art with all of you. Again, a contribution of any size would mean the world. And even if you can't contribute, I completely understand. But I do ask that you spread the word about this project because that too can make all the difference. Thank you so much for your interest in my album. I hope you have a fantastic day.